Hey guys, GhostStore38 here. Wanted to bring you another YouTube video today. Today I wanted to give my thoughts and impressions on Future State so far. I'm going to be showing you guys the books that I've read so far, as well as giving my thoughts, a bit of thoughts on each. I'll probably end up doing separate videos on each book so I can go bigger. So this is going to be a broad overview, as well as pulling bits from the timeline that were given in the free DC Nation Presents Future State book. So with that being said, let's get started. The first ones I'll be talking about are the Wave 1 books. Those consist of The Next Batman, written by John Ridley, with the two side stories of The Outsiders and Arkham Knights. The John Kent book, Superman and Metropolis, whose side stories are The Guardian and Mr. Miracle. And the very excellent Yara Flor Wonder Woman book. The timeline here a little bit. Some of these take place in 2025, and that's reading you on the bottom here is the Arkham Knights, which is one of the side stories in the Batman book. There's Batgirls, which is another side story in one of the other books. I don't know which one yet, because I haven't gotten that far in. The Batman Superman title, the Future State title. The Batman Catwoman book, which is the DC Black Label book, issue 2 just came out today as well. The Gotham City Sirens, that's probably a side story in the Harley Quinn book, which features, I want to say, Quinn, maybe Ivy, and Catwoman. Unless the Sirens is going to be a side story in the Catwoman book. That just came out today as well. I don't know. I don't have the book on hand right now. Also in 2025 is the Harley Quinn title, Grifters, which is the side story in Dark Detective, the Nightwing book, which just came out today, The Outsiders, which is the first side story in the next Batman, the Red Hood story, which is a side story in Dark Detective, and Robin Eternal, which came out in Wave 2. My thoughts on this one is I liked the story. I had to give it a second read to give my initial to enjoy it more. I read it, gave it a quick read the first time around, then I wanted to give a second one, sort of process everything, and just I liked it. I wish that DC hadn't decided to tell you outright who the Batman was. It is Tim Fox. Although that's not much of a spoiler at this point because some of the covers made it abundantly clear. Although I will say I do find his transition into his Batman costume that he wears in this one and in the 2040, which is the next timeline, which that's the mainline Justice League book takes place in. I find it interesting that he changed his costume from the 2025 to 2040, thinking he was Batman over a period of time as well, obviously. I want to say that in issue 3, looking at a leaked cover, the Dark Detective book, Bruce will come cross paths with Tim Fox, and he gets into a scuffle with Nightwing in his book as well. To me, the next Batman book, the one story I liked the most was the Arkham Knight story with Astrid Arkham and her band and the band of criminals that are trying to save the streets and end up defeating Peacekeeper 12. It was cool seeing Astrid Arkham return. Last time you saw her was in the Peter J. Tomasi's Detective Comics, so that was fun. The Outsiders was interesting, and I'll be genuinely curious to see if they expand more upon why Black Lightning was in his lightning form. Apparently it was a magic or curse. Maybe that has something to do with the Justice League Dark. I don't know. I'll be curious to see where that happens. I like how in the book initially that they tried to imply that maybe it could have been Luke, the Batwing. He could have been the Batman, but they obviously the spoilers and everything else, they come out and tell you that, oh no, it's not him. It's Jace, Tim Fox, but you have two Tims right now, Tim as Batman and Tim Drake as Robin in the Robin Eternal. So that's He wanted to give himself a different name. So yeah. The next one I want to give brief looks over is the Superman Metropolis, and that takes place in 2030 alongside the Aquaman title, a Black Racer side story, a Justice League Dark side story, which is the side story in the Justice League book, the Metropolis Midnighter, whatever that one is. Don't know, not familiar with that. Mr. Miracle, which is the second side story in Superman Metropolis, the Suicide Squad book, Superman Metropolis, the main title itself, Superman Worlds at War, the one that just came out today, and Nubia, the first side story in the Immortal Wonder Woman book. I like this one. I really enjoyed the artwork to the story. The artwork is done by John Timms and story by Sean Lewis. And the people who did the cover for the book did the interior art, so I like the artwork on that. That was fun. Basically, John gets into a conflict with the military. He comes into contact. He meets up with brain cells, which is some leftover material from Brainiac, which he and Kara take care of. In the end, he shrinks Metropolis. Kara's not happy about it. I like Kara's design in Supergirl in the book. That was fun. Sorry, that's on our puppies in the background. Although I find it interesting her design changed between the Supergirl book, between her as Supergirl in this one, and Superwoman in that story. But that's for a later part of the video. There's a fight scene going on. A lot happens. I'm pretty just going general overview of what goes on. Then the first side story is Mr. Miracle. He's in the bottled city with Metropolis. They don't know what they're being bottled. All they know is just a barrier. There's a nice little reference to one of the earlier Superman newspapers, the Daily Star, which that was the name of the Daily Planet first before they changed it. The Guardian story, you see an older Jimmy Olsen and a Guardian. He meets with a terrorist called Honest Mary. There's a bunch of explosives laden in an ambulance. He's getting it out of here and back to and get away from people that may hurt. Is like, they call me Honest Mary, and you aren't a hero, Guardian. You're an overqualified EMT. You're just here to deliver the body bags. Okay. There's riots in the streets. People are wondering where's Superman. It's a hoax done by him. But yet Jimmy's still leaving around for hope that Superman will come back, and I think he's probably talking about Clark and not him. There's some background going on here. Looks like Zatanna. He's wondering where Jimmy is. There's some chatter back and forth going on. And at the end of the book, Guardian's presumed dead, but that's probably not the case. We'll probably see him more. We'll probably see him again. And then, of course, is Yara Flor's Wonder Woman. That's a self-contained book. It's focused strictly on her. There's a good bit of humor, as well as a mixture of mythology, both Brazilian and Greek and various others as they mesh. She ends up waking up and pissing off the dog Cerberus at the very end after some hijinks ensue. The Hell's Underworld is up to interpretation. To them, it looks like the inside of an airport or a bus station. I don't know. Train station. She hasn't had the denarii to give the Reaper to cross the river Styx, and so he sends her to the back of the line. That was kind of funny. She ends up stealing a coin. Really huge fight goes on, and Cerberus wakes up. She has a flying Pegasus named Jerry. Horse just grazing, minding his own business. She keeps calling him and calling him and calling him. He's just like, nope. She finally just gets pissed off about him and whistles loud enough for him to hear her, and it's just like, you took your sweet time getting over here. Thought that was funny. Out of Wave 1, I'd have to say Yara, the Wonder Woman book, was my favorite. Oh, and by the way, for timeline purposes, that one takes place in 2050, alongside the Kara Zor-El Superwoman book and Superman vs. Imperious Lex. So there's multiple things going on at once. In 2040 is the Justice League. The 2035 is the Green Lantern book, The Last Lantern. 2070 is the Superman Wonder Woman. The year 3000 is the House of L, which is a trade, but it's going to be a future state, and also Legion of Superheroes book. The year 4500 is Swamp Thing. 82,020 is Black Adam, and the end of time is Wonder Woman. Then here I'll be talking about Wave 2. The books that came out, that one was one of my favorites, Dark Detective. It's the story of Bruce Wayne and Batman. It's the story of Bruce Wayne's Batman. He was shot and supposedly declared dead, shot and killed, but he went to a surgeon and saved his life using the last of the Wayne Fortune's money. He's been living off the street because the Arkham Knights have taken over his house and the world thinks that he's dead, but he still needs to save people, and so he reinvents himself as the Dark Detective. In issue 2, supposedly he's going to cross paths and meet with Tim Fox's Batman. And that book takes place in 2027, so it's around the same time frame as 2 years after Nightwing and he cross paths. And I also find it really interesting, the Titans, in the Teen Titans book, Robin's uniform's changed. He's wearing his more classic look, and he doesn't have the beard anymore that he did in Nightwing in 2025, so clearly there was some transition that happened between this one and the Nightwing book. I don't have the Nightwing book yet on hand, otherwise I'd show you. I really like the Teen Titans book, much more than I thought I would initially at first, but seeing a couple people review it gave me really interest to see it. Red X makes his comeback. Those of us familiar with him as Dick Grayson's counter, his alternate identity in the Teen Titans cartoon. I like seeing his relationship with Corey, or apparently the lack thereof one. But it's really nice to see them together for a while. Things were happy, and it cuts back and forth. There's flashbacks. In the end, he releases Red X from a jail cell, and at the last shot, you see him wearing Slade Wilson's mask. So there's something that happened there. Honestly, some of these books deserved more than 2 issues. You should have gotten like a 4-issue series. Honestly, most of these should have probably ended up with 4 issues. Honestly, because the amount of information and details, like, we would like to know more, or at least me personally, I would. So it would have been nice to see some of these got the 4-issue treatments and not just a couple books. Really recommended this one. To me, this is a definition of a great comic, good art and a good story, and then I'm sold. But again, each person's criteria is different. I don't know if the Teen Titans book second issue will have a backup story. It might be solely focused on them. Anyway, I'll be curious. The next one here is the Justice League book. This one took place in 2040. You can see, obviously, his Batman's outfit has changed. This is the one he wears in the book. The Superman outfit is pretty much the same as you would see in his Superman Metropolis book. Yara Flor looks the same. Then you get new characters. The daughter of Aquaman and Mira, a different Flash from the multiverse, and Joe, the new Green Lantern. The team is, their Legion of Doom is assassinated. They're all killed. Everyone's trying to figure out why. This team never fraternizes with each other because I guess the old Justice League, before everything fell apart, they made a charter that's like, don't fraternize or anything with each other. But the new Flash and Aquaman's daughter, they're kind of talking to each other, spending time together, and of course Yara and John. So it's like they don't really know each other personally like the old Justice League did. There's a White Martian team, the Hyper Clan. They make an appearance back and impersonate the Justice League and send them off somewhere. I'll be curious to see what happens to that. Like I said, for this one being how many issues? This book is 2 issues. This should have gotten a 4-issue treatment. Just like the amount of information and detail. It's like it would have been nice to have seen the Legion of Doom, Despera, Amaze X, Cobalt Blue, Screech Owl, the Flood, and Ultraviolet. It would have been nice to have seen them getting into a conflict with each other, with them and the Justice League before they get killed. It would have been interesting to see that go on. There's also a fight with the Hyper Clan. I just realized one of them is them. Darkseid, what looks like a different iteration of the Joker. Everyone gets some own downtime, and then the Hyper Clan comes in and assumes their positions. And then the side story brings into Justice League Dark. Zatanna, I like her design. She kind of wears a hood, but still kind of the same character. Detective Chimp is the new Etrigan, or is the host for Etrigan. He's kind of Jason Blood's position. They meet up with Ragman, Rory Regan, if anyone's familiar with that character. I'm not. John's supposedly dead. At least they think he is anyway, because they find an amulet that was given to him. Rory becomes Ragman again. And they go off to find John, which they do. He has a scar over his eye. Or not, he's still the same character. They meet up with also Madame Xanadu. I've never really read the Justice League Dark comic, so I couldn't tell you how much about that. Tell you much about those team members. In the end, they meet up with an old man who thought it was Jason Blood, but turns out it was Khalid, Dr. Fate. I want to say Khalid was probably the one from the New 52 Earth 2 book. I don't know. It's been a while since I caught up with the Dr. Fate recently. It's been a while since I've read anything about Dr. Fate. I want to say I know Fat Kent Nelson's out and no longer wearing the helmet. But anyway, I can't complain. I really liked the book. Overall, I'd recommend reading this one, too. Next one is Kara Zor-El Superwoman. The art was pretty. It kind of reminded me of a storybook that you'd read to kids. But it's obviously not. Kara comes across, she's kind of did not want to use her powers anymore. She made a promise to Crypto. He passed away. She wanted to be good. She wanted to be the best of her, John, and Clark. So she wanted to help the people on the moon set up a colony for safety for people. And then this alien girl comes crashing in through, and they start to form a friendship. She absorbs some of Kara's powers. I'll show you some of the art. Like I said, the art's pretty. Like I said, the art's pretty. The alien absorbs her powers. She meets with an alien. Her name's Lenari. She can shapeshift. Has various different powers. They end up becoming good friends. Apparently, she gets her powers from a jewel, the Starfall jewel. It's absorbed into their bodies because she says, "If someone takes it from me, I will die." Before you seek revenge, dig 2 graves. Anger like that will consume you and kill you in the end. So I came here to try and be the best try and be of use. And then Lenari ends up kind of insulting Superwoman, Kara. And it just goes into a dynamic. They go back and forth. Lenari and her have a fight. She takes off, and her aunt finds her. Kimra is here to take you home. And then Kara, seeing no way out, she activates her power. She uses her powers again and uses her heat vision to try and save her friend, and that's where that issue ends. There's no backup to this one. It's kind of a self-contained book. This gets a two issues. It's interesting that there's no real setup, like how they got here in the first. It was nice to have seen some backstory about the book. Like I said, that's why I said some of these should have gotten a 4-issue treatment, well, rather than just 2. Another Gotham-centered book, Robin Eternal. This one takes place in, like I said, the 2025. So during this whole event here, as far as Tim knows, Dick is sitting in Arkham Asylum. Apparently he thinks he's gone crazy. Bruce apparently is dead. I guess for far as apparently they know Bruce is dead. They don't know he's still alive or anything. So it's kind of a shame that he wouldn't tell them about all of this. Like, I really hope that some of the other books, especially the Dark Detective book, since that one is getting the 4-issue series, that he reunites with Dick and Tim. It's like, hey guys, I'm not dead. I'm back. And then all kind of a Bat family thing, because in the Nightwing book, apparently I've seen there's a shot with Barbara as Batgirl. She's wearing the suit again. I liked it. I'm one of 2 pairing for Dick Grayson. It's either him and Starfire or him and Barbara. The art's really nice. I really enjoyed this one. This is actually one of the first ones I had on my pool list when the titles first announced. It was this one, Dark Detective, the Wonder Woman book. I was curious about the next Batman one, Justice League, and I kind of just picked the others up as time went on. The art's really pretty. He has an active camouflage. His suit here kind of reminds me of the one that he wore in Rebirth, except without the cape. Apparently, him and Steph have problems first, so they're not really together anymore. Because she said apparently she watched too many friends. She doesn't want to work with them because she said I've watched too many friends and loved ones die. There's an ad here with some of the other books. Shazam, the issue 2, probably issue 2. Issue 1 or issue 2 of Legion, and the Flash book, which is issue 2. So you came to everything. I was like, so help me, we can stop this con before it reaches Gotham. It's like, I'm sorry, Tim, I'm not interested in watching the people I love die. So like, she's out. So he reaches out to this girl and this friend, Darcy. She's deaf, so they have to communicate with sign language. And here I thought was fun. I want to say this might be the issue 3 of the next Batman, and here's the Dark Detective issue 3. Issue 3 includes the Grifter's story, and issue 4 is the Red Hood. Issue 3 includes Outsiders and Arkham Knights. Issue 4 is Batgirls and Arkham City Sirens. So this might be issue 3. And then the cover here on the bottom is probably this Batman Superman issue 2. Looking forward to the Dark Detective one for sure. So him and Darcy want to make a plan, go blow something up and stop the convoy from getting to Gotham. They meet up with Spoiler. Everything goes to crap really fast. They get ambushed. They were waiting for them. And they come across one of the cybers, one of the robots that Tim fought later. It's like, nope, not good. They start to fight. Things go to crap really fast. He gets his neck busted. But in the end, they break part of the machine and part of the Lazarus liquid. The resin, Tim is covered in it, so it brings him back to life. The resin, it's all over him. And he's like, hell of a round 1. As he pops himself back together. That's kind of gross, but really funny at the same time. He tries to put himself back together. He's like, ready for round 2. Robin Reborn. That was... So, yeah. And to me, for the Wave 2, the books I really enjoyed were The Dark Detective, Justice League. If I had to rank them, I'd say number 1 was Dark Detective. Number 2 would be the Justice League. 3 would be Robin Eternal. 4 would be Teen Titans. 5 would be Supergirl. And then 6 would be Superman Wonder Woman. Because to me, honestly, I was hoping for something like the Superman Wonder Woman book from the New 52, where they kind of went into a dynamic with each other. Because they seem, to me, Yara and John seem to be like on the grounds for a potential relationship where they could be something. I don't know. Maybe it'll go into something. I don't know. But, or at least a good friendship, a good foundation for a friendship. Maybe it builds on something. I don't know. So I was kind of hoping to be something like that, but apparently it's not. They're friends at least, and John's outfit's changed a little bit since the Justice League one. This one takes place in 2070, so he's a lot bulkier, bigger, and he also has a cape. The art's interesting. Yara doesn't look like she's changed much. She goes after a Brazilian leader, a senator. Pretty much plane almost crashed. She saved his life. It's like you haven't fixed the infrastructure, the roads. It's like, help them out, help people. And she's like, I'm going to shoot you. She's like, please, please, please try and shoot me. And she gave him like that really wicked Joker smile. That was kind of creepy. And he's like, she makes him write apologies. He's like, I will not embezzle the people of my city. He's like, and the guy's like, I will not try to shoot Wonder Woman. That was funny. And then she meets up with a couple Brazilian gods in human form, the sun and moon god. They meet something else. Apparently they see another sun here. Solaris, the tyrant sun, the enemy of John's Superman's. I will show him exactly whose galaxy this is. The sun god's name's Kuat. I will not be replaced again. House of L. This is the trade. There's Superman Metropolis issue 2 here. Superman Worlds at War issue 2. Superman vs. Imperious Lex. Superman vs. Imperious Lex. The books 1 and 2, and then issue 2 of Kara Zor-El Superwoman. Just a whole ad here of the other books. Other than that, it's a fight between Solaris. It's not really a fight, but it's a racing match between Solaris and Kuat. John sees what's going on. He helps people because the sun's racing back and forth, so it's becoming night and day for a lot of people. The Solaris ends up burning out because they're trying to absorb a lot of heat. And the moon god's having some problems. Oh, come on, Mr. Mule Gods, you're as bad as my Pegasus, and thanks for the lip, I'm better off without you, and just jumps off the moon god's horse. It's like error, overheating, power diverting to self-repair, reinforcements. It's like, It's like I'm stronger than you. Justice League issue 2, Green Lantern issue 2, and Aquaman issue 2. Includes Teen Lantern and John Stewart stories, bonus stories. And this one apparently looks like it's going to deal with Hal Jordan. That's going to be interesting. He's like, I'm okay. Plays havoc with my Kryptonian cells, but the Yellow Sun seems to be overcompensating for his presence. I'm being depowered and overpowered at once. It's been a minute. You don't look good. Yeah, that's the sun god Kuat. It's like their pettiest sun god. Some sort of fifth dimensional masquerading as one. And it's like, no, an actual sun god. He's around. He has mist and everything. Hang on, Solaris is up to something. I can hear him. Hold on. Hold that thought. Solaris, this has to stop. It's like, if you can get me a test of strength, I'll quit and leave. It's like, I'm Superman, so they have some dynamic back and forth. Apparently Yara left the Justice League at some point between the book and now, and she's not like crazy about going back. And then he tries to use his powers and pretty much falls to the ground. So something happened between that. What that something is, we'll have to wait till issue 2. It was a decent book, not my personal favorite, but it was a fun read at least. Anyway, that's kind of my general thoughts on the books, or at least my little opinions here. The next books that have come out now as of recording today, they've come out is the next Batman issue 2, the Batman Black Label Batman Catwoman issue 2, Catwoman issue 1 of 2, Immortal Wonder Woman issue 1, Nightwing number 1, Shazam number 1, and Superman Worlds of War. I'll be picking up the next Batman issue #2, Catwoman #1, Immortal Wonder Woman #1, Nightwing, and Superman Worlds of War. But anyway, that's kind of about it for my little thoughts here. If you guys like this video, give it a like. Comment below your favorite Future State titles. I won't be covering every single book, but I'll be doing the ones that I've personally been reading. But that's about it. Anyway, click that like, comment, and subscribe, and turn the bell notification settings on to all. And until then, I will see you guys next time with another video. Take care, have a good day, and peace.